The lifeblood of democratic states depends on the freedom of media. The common point of the statements published by the World Press Professional Organizations on May 3, World Press Freedom Day, is always the call for the end of violence and censorship against journalists. However, since this call has not been adequately answered, two indispensable parts of democracies, freedom of expression and thought, and the right to access public information, are violated. The lifeblood of democratic states depends on the freedom of media. Journalists, the unconditional defenders of freedom of expression, ensure that the state is accountable to the public. Members of the press research, write, and hold accountability on behalf of the public. They are the spokespersons of the people, not the powers that be. Those who manipulate are those who inform the public unfounded without investigating the facts contrary to professional principles. Such manipulations facilitate the corruption of regimes. It should not be forgotten that the freedom of expression is the cornerstone of democracies. In our world, where oppressive regimes are on the rise, the importance of the journalists who do their job properly has increased even more. This is because such regimes maintain their ambitions for power by drawing an iron curtain between citizens and reality. For this, they apply their repressive regimes on journalists. On the one hand, there is a traditional war with tanks and missiles in Ukraine. On the other hand, there are also the disinformation wars called hybrid, launched by Russia months ago. We believe that the course of this war will change thanks to the facts made to the public by journalists who continue their duties in the most difficult conditions of the war zone. Were it not for the journalists who never bowed down and did not sell their pens, we might not have heard of the power corruption and tears shedding in countries governed by authoritarian regimes. However, brave and honorable journalists never broke their stance despite the intimidation of the regimes. More than ever, we need dedicated journalists. We must give our full support to support them and enable them to pursue the truth. The pressure and threat against them is against the society's access to information, ability to hold accountability, and general rights and freedoms. Considering that the journalism is not just a profession, but a reflection of social responsibility and human dignity, we invite local, national, and international actors to prepare this environment. We demand the unconditional release of journalists behind bars in different geographies and the repeal of laws that criminalize freedom of thought. We greet journalists who carry out their profession with dignity and by adhering to universal principles with love and respect. On the World Press Freedom Day, we once again inform the public that we are in solidarity with all members of the media. It should not be forgotten that cruelty feeds on darkness, and journalists are the ones who light up the darkness.